battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look.
Okay, and here we are, October 4th, the day after charges were just filed. Pennsylvania State Police filed charges against me, and we're going to jump into that. That's what the main part of this issue of the video is going to be. But first and foremost, we need to put out there that the Board of Commissioners special meeting is Thursday, October 9th. 7 p.m. Address 11279 Center Highway, North Huntington, PA 15642. You do not have to be a resident to attend the meeting. You do not have to be a resident to speak at the meeting. If you are a citizen of the United States of America, your constitutional right of freedom of speech is respected everywhere, and the Sunshine Law in Pennsylvania, which is the jurisdiction this meeting's under, states that public commenting is open to the public. It doesn't specify you must be a resident, and they cannot put policy in place that supersedes the Constitution of the United States of America, which is where your freedom of speech would come from. But essentially, as I stated, we found out about these charges yesterday. That's when they were filed on October 3rd. The offense date listed in the charges is July 1st. The charges were filed, as stated, October 3rd. The agency filing the charges is the Pennsylvania State Police. The arresting officer is Casey L. Frank, and the charge is 18 subsection 2719A2. So that's what we want to jump into. What exactly is that charge? So that would be endangerment of a public safety official. That's where the 2719 comes from. The A is a person commits the offense of endangering a public safety official if the person intentionally or knowingly communicates or publishes through an electronic social media service the restricted personal information of a public safety official or a family or household member of a public safety official with, now this is where the 2 comes in, the intent that the restricted personal information will be used to threaten, intimidate, or facilitate the commission of a crime against the public safety official or a family or household member of the public safety official. So, I pretty much knew once I saw the offense date was July 1st that it had to have been something digital. Because I don't really go anywhere outside of, the public meetings twice a month, maybe 3 times a month if I hit a county commissioners meeting, which is extremely rare that I find the time to do that with my other responsibilities right now. So when I go back to that date and I look, there's only 2 posts really that I make. 2 subjects, we'll say, of my posts. And the one subject would be the Kessler situation, which is the constable, where we had the pictures of him floating around online in the lingerie with the communications coming from his account, essentially taking ownership that he was attempting to meet an underage girl, and that I believe that his significant other also participated in trying to facilitate this meeting. It was a decoy that they were speaking to. And then the other one would be the post that I made in direction to badge number 77, Aaron Nutter, in, him being the first responder and the first one to engage with Katie and my son on July 7th of 2024. Mind you, the offense date of these charges is July 1st of 2025. So we're talking coming up on a year. I had posted this information that he was the first one on the scene. He was telling people what to do, making the calls for first responders, what to do with Jordan, who to hand them off to. He was very much involved in his official capacity as a police officer, yet nowhere to be found in any reports or anything of that nature. So these charges arise, and it's like, hey, endangering a public safety official if the person intentionally or knowingly communicates or publishes through an electronic social media service the restricted I don't know what I had could have posted that would be considered restricted personal information. I mean, what don't have access to any restricted information, so I'm not really sure what I could have posted that was restricted of a family or household member of a public safety. No, with the intent that the restricted personal information will be used to threaten, intimidate, or facilitate the I mean, absolutely not. Never my intent. Peaceful is my intent. Following the rules is my intent. Honoring the contract, the Constitution of the United States of America, that's my intent. Exercising my rights is my intent. Inciting any sort of violence or harm on anybody, never, not for 2 seconds throughout this entire process has that ever been my intent. Now, are there those that would benefit if somehow it could be twisted and manipulated into looking like that's ever been my intent? Well, of course. Every single bad actor that I've been calling out would benefit if I could be framed in a manner that makes me look as though I'm sort of threat to public safety, threat to the community, threat to them. It's something that I was talking with somebody about the other day. It's really the only way that Rizzo could possibly justify skipping out on all the meetings that he has skipped out on, especially with all of the things going on as far as public safety, is if he paints me as some sort of a threat that he is deathly afraid of. But I mean, even at that, does that not make him look bad also? It's like, oh, I'm the chief of police, I'm getting $170K a year, and this guy's got me scared to come to meetings. Like, for what reason? I mean, I understand the truth is scary. Somebody willing to sit there under threat of arrest and then the actual carrying out of unlawful arrest. And now all these charges being stacked, and I'm still coming here saying to you guys what you're doing is wrong. I'd imagine that is scary for you. You've never experienced that before. But we cannot continue on in the direction that we are going. It's not sustainable. In no form or fashion have I done this, have I met the merit to be charged with this. And to be quite frank, I feel like this being done on October 3rd, knowing that we have hearings that were continued from September 19th until October 16th, and then filing these on the 3rd, I think we're almost guaranteed a continuance now, aren't we? Because I just find it, odd that we would go from charges filed on October 3rd and this would be lumped right in 13 days later on October 16th at the upcoming hearings. You're going to continue. And, maybe this is why it takes 3 years for you guys to try a capital murder charge or a homicide charge in the county. It takes 3 years to get one of those even in front of a jury. And it's because you're putzing around doing stuff like this, charging citizens like me who are exercising their constitutional rights and using the resources available to him. I mean, this looks like something that was specifically written by somebody at some point. I mean, it specifically is targeting electronic social media service. So this is something very, very new, clearly. And I'm sorry that you don't like that. That's one of the resources that I have in 2025 is that I can come here on these platforms with this camera and this microphone and this equipment, and I can get a message out, right? And then you don't like that I can, add things like this, right? And I got banners. Here's my name. Here's my social media accounts. Here's the next commissioner meeting. I mean, you guys hate transparency. And I understand that because this is new, right? In 1957, I think it was, the people had to prove to the state why we needed the information, why we had a right to the information. Then they flipped it upside down on you guys in 2008 with the Act 3 Right to Know law. And they said, well, no, the people get it. You have to prove why they can't have it. They flipped the script on you. And you guys are a little late on the memo because you still want to play games and fight us tooth and nail about giving us information and honest information. And when we continue to come at you because we're not going to accept just being ignored, stonewalled, and mistreated, then you're going to hit us with all these charges. Okay. Well, just know that we're going to continue to get the message out to the people that this is the kind of stuff that you're doing. This is what you're doing about transparency and accountability. You're not working with the citizen to build a relationship, to maintain a bridge, right, of community and law enforcement and things of that nature. You're actually doing the opposite. You're doing everything you possibly can to destroy any sort of cooperation, no lines of communication, and then punishing citizens who reach out to try to get clarity on, hey, what's up with the stolen cars that are used in drive-by shootings? Hey, what's up with the methamphetamines that you guys keep finding in large quantities? Hey, can we get some information on the guns? Hey, what about the attachments for the weapons that are turning semi-automatics into fully automatics? Would you like to make a comment about that? The burglaries? No. The senior citizens getting beat up in McDonald's? No. The accidents, the car accidents, the flipped vehicles. There's flipped cars all over 30. Anybody want to talk about anything? No, you don't. Well, what are we supposed to do exactly? You tell me what my generation's supposed to do. I'm 36 years old. Am I just supposed to just sit back and just watch it just deteriorate? Because if I come asking questions, if I come seeking some level of accountability and transparency, I'm attacked. And then it's like I turn around and I look to my left and I look to my right, and it's like, well, where the fuck is the rest of my generation at? I get it, there's not a lot for us to be working with right now, but we got to do something, right, gentlemen? We can't just take it on the chin and just completely submit and bend over and say, go ahead. I mean, you took a majority away from the generation before us. You took a little from the one before them. It's somehow power and money and wealth continue to fall into the hands of the worst of every generation. And, why would my generation be any different? We're just going to pass this along to people that are going to take advantage of their positions as well. And then we'll pass this burden down to our children and then our children to our grandchildren. And let's just keep the party going, right? I have a really hard time with that. I don't think that I'm going to accept that. I think I've made that pretty clear that I don't accept that. I'm going to continue to call out for accountability. I'm going to continue to expose things and bring a level of transparency and accountability to Westmoreland County, to North Huntington Township, to the Mullins, to the bad actors, to the ones that are, we got this kid who's laughing at the scene and the local police department trying to cover it up for him because some of the higher ups seem to be friends of the family and whatnot, things of that nature, as well as just long-standing family ties to local law enforcement and politics. And we're just going to shit all over a woman and a small child. And you guys better accept that because that's just what we're doing. I don't think so. I don't think so. And you guys can continue to attack me. And if you have to tear me apart piece by piece, you're going to do it in front of my neighbors. And then my neighbors are going to have to sit there and they're going to have to watch it. They're going to have to watch it from the comfort of their own delusional existence where they think that the best option is to sit back and watch this happen as opposed to step forward and say, hey, man, I'm united with those that are not okay with this happening. Because that's the two sides. And that's what's happening right now.
Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look out a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound?